She shouldn't exist, but 17 witnesses saw her last month. At Claremont House, something walks the corridors that defies explanation. Today's video uncovers the documented haunting of Princess Charlotte of Wales, England's lost queen whose death changed history. We'll examine police reports, security footage, and testimonies that prove something supernatural stalks these halls. From Victorian séance transcripts to last week's paranormal investigation, you'll discover why this royal ghost terrifies even skeptics. But to understand what happened here, Claremont House stands in Surrey, England, a neoclassical mansion that once promised to be the brightest jewel in Britain's royal crown. Built in 1774 by Capability Brown and later purchased for Princess Charlotte and Prince Leopold in 1816, this estate was meant to witness the birth of a new royal dynasty. Instead, it became the stage for one of monarchy's most devastating tragedies. Princess Charlotte Augusta of Wales was born on January 7, 1796, the only legitimate child of the Prince Regent, later King George IV, and Caroline of Brunswick. Contemporary accounts describe her as vivacious, intelligent, and remarkably modern in her thinking. Lady Charlotte Barry wrote in 1814, "The princess possesses a warmth that draws all hearts to her. She is our hope for a new kind of monarchy." The public adored Charlotte with an intensity that wouldn't be seen again until Princess Diana. She represented youth, change, and hope after the madness of George III and the scandals of her father. When she married Prince Leopold of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld on May 2, 1816, the entire nation celebrated. The Times reported, "Never has England witnessed such genuine joy for a royal union." The couple settled at Claremont House, transforming it into their sanctuary. Charlotte personally selected the pale yellow silk for the morning room, supervised the planting of rose gardens, and converted the east wing into a nursery. Servants later testified that she spent hours arranging baby clothes, singing lullabies to an empty cradle. Mary Griffiths, her lady's maid, recorded, "Her Royal Highness glowed with maternal anticipation, speaking constantly of teaching her child to ride in Claremont's parklands." But on November 5, 1817, after 50 hours of agonizing labor, Charlotte delivered a stillborn son. Dr. Richard Croft's medical notes describe the horrific scene. The infant showed no signs of life despite all attempts at resuscitation. Charlotte herself initially survived, even joking weakly with Leopold about trying again. Then, at 2:30 a.m. on November 6th, she suddenly convulsed and died. She was 21 years old. Leopold's grief was catastrophic. He refused to leave her body for 3 days, and when finally persuaded, he sealed her rooms exactly as she left them. The nursery remained untouched. Tiny clothes still folded, the cradle she'd sung to still positioned by the window. Baron Stockmar wrote, "The prince lives as a ghost himself, wandering Claremont's halls calling her name." The spiritual significance of Claremont transformed immediately. Within weeks of Charlotte's death, servants reported inexplicable phenomena. The housekeeper, Mrs. Elizabeth Thornton, documented in household records dated December 1817. Strange occurrences plagued the eastern wing, doors opening of their own. Accord, the scent of Charlotte's violet perfume in sealed rooms, and most disturbing, the sound of lullabies from the nursery at midnight. The estate's atmosphere grew so oppressive that Leopold fled to Germany in 1818, though he maintained Claremont exactly as Charlotte left it until his death in 1865. This preservation, paranormal researchers now believe, created what they term a grief anchor, a location where traumatic emotion becomes embedded in the physical environment, enabling manifestations that transcend normal spiritual activity. The investigation that would finally provide irrefutable evidence began at 11:47 p.m. on November 5, 2024, exactly 207 years after Charlotte's labor began. Security officer James Whitfield was conducting his routine patrol when his body camera captured what skeptics cannot explain. The footage, authenticated by 3 independent forensic analysts, shows a translucent female figure in Regency-era dress materializing in the main hallway. "I felt the temperature plummet," Whitfield testified in his official report. "My breath became visible, and then she appeared. Not gradually, but suddenly, like someone had switched on a projection. Except she was 3-dimensional, moving with purpose toward the east wing." The figure's dress, clearly visible in the enhanced footage, matches Charlotte's portrait down to the pearl embroidery on the bodice. What happened next defied physics. The apparition walked directly through a wall that had been solid stone since 1774. Whitfield's camera recorded not just the visual phenomenon, but also captured audio. A woman's voice singing what musicologists have identified as Lavender's Blue, a lullaby popular in Charlotte's era. The building's architectural plans confirm no hidden passages exist where the figure vanished. Dr. Sarah Pemberton, lead investigator for the Paranormal Research Society, arrived within hours. Her electromagnetic field readers detected anomalies concentrated in 3 locations: Charlotte's former bedroom, the sealed nursery, and, mysteriously, the modern gift shop that now occupies what was once Leopold's study. "The readings were unprecedented," Dr. Pemberton stated. "We recorded electromagnetic spikes of 200 milligus. Natural background levels rarely exceed 0.5. To understand why Charlotte manifests so powerfully, we must return to the months following her death. Documents discovered in 2019 at the British Library reveal that Queen Charlotte, the princess's grandmother, secretly commissioned a séance at Claremont on March 15, 1818. The medium, Madame Theodora Blackwood, was renowned among European nobility for her alleged ability to communicate with the deceased. The séance transcript, authenticated by 3 handwriting experts, records terrifying details. According to witness Lord Castlereagh, Madame Blackwood had barely begun when the room temperature dropped so severely that ice formed on the windows. A young woman's voice, unmistakably Charlotte's distinct accent, spoke through the medium. "My child, where is my child? I cannot rest without my child." The séance erupted into chaos when furniture began moving violently. Lady Hertford's diary describes, "The nursery cradle, brought down for the ritual, rocked so violently it splintered. We fled in terror as invisible hands overturned chairs and shattered mirrors. Madame Blackwood collapsed, bleeding from her nose and ears, screaming that she won't leave, she can't leave, she's searching for what was never born." This séance, investigators now believe, may have intensified Charlotte's spiritual presence. Madame Blackwood's notes, discovered in her descendants' estate, reveal she attempted to bind the spirit to find peace. Instead, she may have anchored Charlotte more firmly to Claremont. The medium never conducted another séance, writing, "Some souls are too powerful in their grief to be guided to rest." Historical records from 1818 to 1900 document 47 separate encounters with Charlotte's spirit. Servants reported finding the nursery arranged differently each morning. Baby clothes refolded, the cradle moved, toys arranged in patterns. In 1854, Queen Victoria herself visited Claremont and privately wrote to Albert, "I felt dear Charlotte's presence so strongly in the nursery that I wept. The air itself seemed to mourn." Modern paranormal research has identified a horrifying pattern. Charlotte's manifestations intensify around significant dates and near pregnant women or new mothers. In 1923, when the Countess of Derby visited Claremont while expecting, she reported, "A young woman in white appeared in my room, reaching toward my belly with translucent hands. She whispered, 'Let me hold them,' just once, before vanishing." The most disturbing incident occurred in 1981. Tourist Patricia Henderson, 8 months pregnant, was touring the house when she suddenly collapsed. According to witnesses, including tour guide Michael Forsyth, Mrs. Henderson began speaking in an accent none of us recognized as hers, saying, "Leopold, bring me my baby. I know he lives. I heard him cry." When she recovered, she had no memory of the incident, but her unborn child's heart rate had inexplicably doubled during the possession. Digital age technology has captured what Victorian witnesses could only describe. In 2019, a Japanese tourist's iPhone recorded a figure in the background of a selfie taken in Charlotte's bedroom. A woman in Regency dress, clearly visible but casting no shadow. Analysis by Tokyo Institute of Technology confirmed no digital manipulation. The iTool security footage from November 2024 represents the clearest evidence yet. Frame-by-frame analysis reveals details impossible to fake. The figure's dress moves naturally with her stride. Her reflection appears in windows, but not mirrors, and most unnervingly, her mouth moves in sync with the recorded lullaby. Acoustic experts confirm the voice contains frequency patterns impossible to reproduce with modern equipment, patterns that match wax cylinder recordings of Victorian-era singers. Current Claremont House staff report daily paranormal activity. Head curator Jennifer Walsh states, "We've stopped trying to keep certain doors closed. They simply won't stay shut." The nursery temperature remains consistently 15 degrees colder than surrounding rooms, despite modern heating systems. 3 employees have resigned in 2024 alone, citing psychological distress from recurring encounters. Visitor experiences posted on TripAdvisor and social media platforms corroborate ongoing phenomena. Sarah Mitchell from Manchester wrote last month, "My daughter started talking to someone invisible in the nursery, describing a sad lady in a pretty, white dress who asked about her baby brother." Security logs document 31 unexplained sensor triggers in November 2024 alone, all concentrated in areas Charlotte frequented. Modern ghost hunting equipment has detected consistent electromagnetic anomalies, temperature fluctuations, and infrasound frequencies associated with paranormal activity. A recent smartphone app designed to detect spiritual presence crashed upon entering Charlotte's bedroom. The developer confirmed the electromagnetic readings exceeded the app's maximum parameters. Most remarkably, Google Street View captured a translucent figure in a second-floor window in 2023. Visible in archived images despite no one being present during photography. These contemporary encounters prove Princess Charlotte's presence isn't fading, it's strengthening. Princess Charlotte's haunting transcends typical ghost stories. It's about a mother forever searching for the child she never held, trapped between worlds by love too powerful for death. Her manifestations remind us that some grief becomes eternal, embedded in places where dreams died. As encounters increase yearly, we must ask, is Charlotte growing stronger, or is our world growing thinner? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more documented royal hauntings that challenge everything we understand about death.